talented French forward. Raised in the streets, he might now be one of the richest players on the planet, but Mbappe comes from very humble backgrounds. The youngster grew up in Bondy, which is a town a little over 11 kilometers away from the northeast of Paris. In fact, Mbappe's emergence as a world talent is constantly celebrated by the town, with the locals hosting a welcome back reception for their most famous and perhaps most talented son ever. But before Mbappe's rise, Bondy had a rather poor reputation. But all that changed, and we're certain that in the coming years, Mbappe is going to do a lot of work to ensure that Bondy is no longer treated as a poor suburb of Paris. We've already seen signs of Mbappe being a very caring soul. In 2018, yes, that year when France became world champions for only the second time, Mbappe was paid a lot of money. Reportedly, the youngster made 20,000 euros per game and was given a 300,000 euros bonus for winning the tournament. And while he earned all that money and could have spent it any way he liked, the PSG forward decided to donate 400,000 euros to Premiers de Cordée, which is a program that raises awareness of disability among schools and businesses. Mbappe started working with the charity back in 2017, and whenever he's free, provides them with as much support as he can. He's definitely someone who absolutely loves to give back, which is why we all love him. Naturally, being such a big presence on and off the field has allowed Mbappe to amass a massive following. While most believe that Macron is the most famous man from France, that is not the case. Mbappe is set to close in on 100 million followers on Instagram. The young forward is all set to become one of the most marketable athletes on the planet, and once both Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo retire, Mbappe is likely to be the name on everyone's lips. His Instagram activity is a right mix of football and him visiting sick children or hanging out with family. This guy has everything figured out. It's hard to imagine that Mbappe has already achieved so much because only 7 years ago, he was just another talented player at AS Monaco with a lot to prove. All that changed very quickly when he made his debut at 16 years old in 2015. This made him the youngest player in club history, a record that was proudly held by Thierry Henry for a very long time. But that wasn't the only Henry record Mbappe broke. The youngster scored his first senior goal a year later and thus became the youngest scorer in Monaco's history. After absolutely shining for Monaco, Mbappe decided to join Paris's Saint-Germain for a whopping 180 million euros. Now, that deal made Mbappe the second most expensive transfer in football history. At that time, the youngster was attracting interest from all corners of Europe, but had his heart set to represent the city of his birth. And while he made a move to PSG, things could have been totally different back in 2012. The youngster went to Chelsea for a trial, but for some reason, the coaches weren't convinced and asked the youngster to have another tryout. However, Mbappe's mother rejected the offer because she knew how good her son was. And Mbappe's mother made the right call, because his mother, Faiza Lamar, knows a thing or two about athletic prowess. Unlike regular moms who see a world star in their son even if they can't properly kick the ball, Faiza's background in sports helped her identify her son's talents. And how could she not? Lamar herself was an accomplished handball player who had competed in the Division I during the 1990s. And his father Wilfred was also a former professional footballer who played for AS Bondy. Mbappe comes from a family of athletes. His adopted brother Jerez Kembo Ikoko is also a professional footballer, while his younger brother Ethan is playing for the PSG Juniors. But unlike Kylian, Ethan is a midfielder who loves to play the role of a conductor on the field. Maybe we might see these two play together one day. And when it came to representing France, Mbappe had loads of options on the table. The young forward's mother is from Algeria, which made him eligible to represent the North African Giants. Imagine Mbappe playing one flank and Riyad Mahrez on the other. We're already salivating at the prospect of something like this. Mbappe could have also played for Cameroon because his father is from there. However, the forward decided to stick with playing for France, which has turned out to be a very good decision. And the thing is that Mbappe's parents have been very supportive of their son's choice. But maybe we will see Ethan play for another country. Has happened before, so fingers crossed for this one. Thanks to the genes he inherited from his mom and dad, Mbappe is a very complete athlete. His trickery is legendary, and we all know how fast he can be. But can he be faster than Usain Bolt, a man who is humanity's real-life version of Barry Allen? During a game against Monaco back in 2019, Mbappe reached a top speed of 23.61 miles per hour, which was 0.25 miles per hour faster than Bolt when the Jamaican won the 100-meter race in 2009. However, Bolt clocked 27.8 miles an hour during the same race, which means that he's still way faster than Mbappe. But that doesn't really matter much because at the end of the day, Mbappe is the fastest player in the game, and he's good at and on top of that. We cannot find any current player who can dribble at great speed like Mbappe does. A certain Brazilian legend used to play the same way. So it's not surprising to know that at one point, even Lionel Messi was worried about Mbappe. During the 2018-19 campaign, Mbappe and Messi were both competing for the Golden Shoe. Messi was scoring for fun in Spain, and Mbappe was doing the exact same in France. According to Ousmane Dembele, Messi was amazed how Mbappe was relentless in his pursuit of the award. By the end of the campaign, Mbappe had scored 33 goals, only 3 less than Messi, which is a feat he must have been very proud of. Eventually, though, Mbappe was always destined to replace Lionel Messi. The youngster had a fantastic Qatar 2022 experience where he might have lost the final to Argentina, but delivered a performance that was otherworldly. Only 5 players have scored more World Cup goals than Mbappe. The PSG star has 12 goals, while Messi has 13. The all-time scorer is Miroslav Klose, who found the back of the net 16 times for Germany. And we're certain that Mbappe will outscore the former Bayern Munich man very soon. In the 2022 World Cup, Mbappe scored 8 goals. Fellow countryman Just Fontaine scored 13 goals in 1958, and we have a feeling that the youngster is going to make history once again in 2026. Before Mbappe, there was Ronaldo. The Brazilian legend scored 8 goals in the knockout stages of the competition, and Mbappe is the only player who has matched this achievement, which we're sure is going to be bested by the Frenchman when 2026 comes around. There are only 2 players who have scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. Mbappe achieved this feat in 2022, while Geoff Hurst did that all the way back in 1966. Wow! Took almost 5 decades for someone to do that. Oh, and on top of that, no other player has ever scored a competitive hat-trick for France.